Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Lone Star Radio on my mind.
Welcome to the Texas Ticket Show. This is Armando, and I'm with Haley Dunn.
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic. We're in a great season.
Yeah.
You know, we got the Mardi Gras.
I can't believe March is already here.
And it's an endless calendar of events, things happening, and stuff in the local area. And you know, we always talk about that, things that might make you just a little bit more Texan or more versed as a Texan, and bringing those things to the Texas Ticket Show. And today we have Chef Austin Simmons with us today from the restaurant that he sensationalized, Tris, down there in the Woodlands, and he'll be telling us a little bit about his upcoming ventures and where he's going. His right hand, Jacob Faulkner, is with him, and they're going to give us a little bit. They're here in the studio now with us. We're going to go over that, and then we'll talk about the Punch Your Texas Ticket segment of the show at the end there. Keep it well-rounded. Let's get this show started. Welcome, Austin Simmons, Chef Austin Simmons. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate y'all having us.
Man, so glad you're here. And Mr. Faulkner, the right-hand man.
It's Folken's, but that's okay.
Folken. Like the Folken Islands.
Very similar, yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
So glad you made it. I don't know where the Folken Islands are. Isn't that out like by Alaska?
I think it's close to Argentina.
Argentina, really?
Yeah, there's a fight over those islands.
Yeah, I remember something. Ugh, terrible. But what everybody can still keep in vivid memory is man, the culinary delights, the you put down over at Tris, and your ability in the kitchen was more than recognized here, I think, and previously, I'm sure, just new to me, you know, the Woodlands kind of brought it to the forefront. Austin Simmons and some of the stuff that you do, and amazing food you put down.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Sad to see it go.
You know, and you had a host of great guests over there. I saw you and Joe Rogan. I was so jealous. I was like, man, I just want to go over there and eat, and whatever.
I
saw Joe Rogan.
I love Rogie. He was awesome. Awesome dude.
Man, and what's not to like about the food? I mean, you did a lot of on the beef, the carnivore side of things, and that, as well as, you know, the softer touch I saw with some of the pastries and some of the other things that you got into, but you really capitalized on good portioning and the beef, and I know that's where your career's headed now.
Yeah, you know, I started really in seafood. I mean, I was trained by the French Le Cordon Bleu right out of high school. So when I came to the Woodlands, I was serving global seafood, and still did at Tris, but I was with those guys back in the bistro days and the Hubble and Hudson days, and 16 years.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're upstairs in that kitchen. They had the kitchen upstairs.
Well, I wasn't really doing that. I was running the restaurant and all the other food service outlets, and then helped build the kitchen, and then took over the kitchen, remodeled the kitchen. So, you know, coming from Texas, and my mom wouldn't even need a fish stick. I mean, I grew up in Arlington, you know, middle class, and I went to culinary school right 30 days out of high school. And
really?
I had my first bite of lobster and
Just
crab.
so people that don't know, Hubble and Hudson's chic, beautiful kitchen, gorgeous layout, pristine everywhere I ever looked, everywhere I ever went in there. I'm pretty sure I could just, you know, and everything is just in great shape. So just a kudos to that culinary, that design, that kitchen layout, or whatever you were working on there.
Yeah, Hubble and Hudson was designed previous, and then I took over the bistro after some departure, and then we remodeled Tris into 18. So nice. 19 was our first year, and then COVID smacked us in 20. But we pivoted to go meals before anybody, and very fortunate that had the foresight on that and kept staff employed, and we never shut a day. Actually, we opened 2 days that we were normally closed, and
we got more days now.
we actually broke even 2 months in that time. So
that's awesome.
I think no matter what award I ever won, keeping the staff employed through that time. You know, 5% of fine dining stayed open during COVID in the nation, and we didn't close a day.
And it worked extra. And now you're going into Chef and Rancher, the new program. Tell me a little bit about that, guys.
Well, so I've been working on cattle genetics since almost 15 years. My first program was Heartbrand X, and that was a 10-year-old mama cow. And a little bit about my cattle story. A chef is only good as what Mother Nature provides, period. We're in Texas. And people like beef, and we don't have a lot of seasonality around vegetables. You either get it all in 1 month, or you can it, preserve it, whatever you can. So I fished the Gulf, avid fisherman, grew up in Corpus with my dad for quite a few years, and
Nice.
I love seafood. It's a huge passion of mine. I won more awards of seafood before I ever got into beef. I actually got shunned in beef a little bit because I became a steakhouse, which I don't think that's what we were. But I got into cattle genetics after the documentary Steak Revolution. And it was about an old cow in Spain that was 15 years of age. And a guy goes around the world looking for the best beef. And he ends up in Spain with a 15-year-old animal. Well, me not understanding how our program works in the United States, I had to have an old animal. So I begged Heartbrand, and they told me I was crazy. And drove to the ranch probably 15 times in 2 years, and made a good relationship with Jordan Beeman and his dad, Ronald Beeman. And we took a mama cow that was a retired animal that was done breeding back, and we fed her out for a year, and then it took me 3 animals to figure out how to get it tender. And then that was where the first steak board was born. Most people don't know that. Texas Monthly, Daniel Vaughn came out, wrote an article about it, and I cooked that whole animal, just about every part of it, and tagged it. And that was kind of the very first steak board. And we were rolling with that program, and then COVID hit, and then I couldn't sell those cuts anymore. We went to pounding out chicken for chicken and Parmesan and making lasagna and cake pans, and lost that program to some guys that picked it up and selling it under South America direct ship. And then during COVID, Larry came to me, and that's how we are at the program we are now, and said, hey, I think I have the best cross to Wagyu, and I'd love for you to look at it. I really respect what you've done in cattle. And I said, I'm just not interested. It looks like it has great marbling, wonderful, but I'm not really concerned about the marbling. You need the fat of Wagyu because of its render point, but that's not where the flavor comes from. So I put the samples in the freezer and forgot about it. Well, I needed some steak at home. I was doing inventory, and I went home and grilled a steak, and that sample changed my life. I got on my knees and called him, and I said, I'll do whatever it takes to get it to market. And so we've been working on getting that program where it is today since then. So we're now at a place where I feel it's time to tell a story. I think the risk is gone to tell the story, and I think that's how Chef and Rancher is here.
And what does that have to do with the Chef Austin's Wagyu?
Chef Austin Wagyu is the brand mark.
It's the brand. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm making sure.
And what it is me verifying hoof to fork ideology, which is a part of the company. You can buy anything and it can say one thing but be something else. I verify the whole part of this animal's life, all the way from cow calf to feed to your plate or to when you order it to cook it.
And you're working with some of the ranches that are currently in operation in the Huntsville area, which is a great place for cattle. A great.
We are moving cattle currently up to this area. Our ranches are currently, our mama cows are in Angleton, Louisiana, and in College Station, and I am currently right now moving them up here.
And then you're integrating with that French Charolais cow, Charolais. I can't even say it.
Charolais.
That
yes,
cow.
Sir. Well, so French Charolais is interesting because there's a lot of Charolais in the United States, but it doesn't mean they're French.
Yeah.
It takes 5 breed backs to get a pure French Charolais cow. So that's what we've really been working on. So we have to cow calf back to pure 5 times before we get to pure French.
That's crazy.
Wagyu, the American Wagyu Association, is 4 times. So for us to get to where we are now, I mean, we've been in it for many years to get the stock that we have now, and that's kind of how Chef and Rancher is ready to
So
launch.
you just pulled one out of the fridge and threw it on a grill, and boom, there it is. Okay, that's different. And if you could taste it, I think I get a lot of concern about people. What is it called? Where they want to hyper green things, and just kind of make it more organic or more in tune with what I want to see rather than what it tastes like or is, and the true of the product. And I don't know what they call it, green stamping, greenwashing, where they try to over green it. So when you work this, cattle to the point where you bring that fork to the table, I think that goes with when I hear a line caught fish versus a farm raised fish. Farm could be anything. It could be anywhere. And so it lends a lot of credence coming from that way of thinking that line caught fish is going to be a much better fish. You're going to get something fresh for sure. All that. But good luck getting it. That's always the hard part.
Yeah. Or verifying that it's actually what it says it is.
Yeah. And I guess that, that goes into trusting the rancher, trusting where you get it. And so you're doing catering as well.
I don't know if I'd call it catering. I would call it kind of like curated events. Meaning that I curate an event around whatever the guest is looking for. We do private events. Where I come in and do a tasting, finish with a steak board. I don't really do caterings as far as, we do go out and do big events where we're served, like we just got back from the border. We just went down and cooked for all the Border Patrol.
About that.
And that's where this hat came from, Border Patrol,
nice.
You can see here. They gave that to me for
That's outstanding.
going down and cooking for all of them. And
National burgers, 3,000 burgers or 7,000 burgers or something crazy?
500 pounds of brisket.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got the right hand on that.
There's a lot of food.
Kudos to you, too. Thank you.
In the sleet, too, in McAllen, which was pretty interesting to be in that far south in Texas. And
you can punch your ticket down there. You get a little more Texan when you head to McAllen, just for showing up.
I tell you what, my toes were frozen for 2 days, but that's okay. Those gentlemen are so appreciative, and we were honored to be there.
So I have a quick question, just about like the common misconceptions that people have when they're buying beef, and kind of how you've enhanced that buying experience.
Yeah, so our cattle are no hormone implants, and we're no antibiotics, we're no medicine. So beef market is sold when the animal gets to a certain weight, right? So how you get them there is regulated by the rancher or whoever is doing it.
Right.
To have an animal that has no medicine, you must feed them differently. That's where a lot of this grass-fed, grass-finished, which in my opinion is BS, but we can get into that if you want to. But if you feed out an animal a carbohydrate source, right, which we all need some sort of, and you feed them out fast and you put hormones in them, you blow out their livers. Well, it'd be the same thing as me feeding you Skittles all day long, right? To get you fatter faster.
Right.
We would blow out your liver, you would get sick, and I'd have to pump you full of antibiotics to get you well, so I can feed you more Skittles to get you fatter and faster, because that's what the market commands. That's how faster I get you to 1,200 pounds, I can sell you.
Right.
So we don't follow that schedule. We aren't graded Select Choice or Prime. You can't grade an animal past 28 months, Select Choice or Prime with the USDA. So we feed out slowly with a very different diet, a very different ration of food, so that they don't get sick. We don't blow their livers out.
That's crazy.
We don't use any hormone implants. And then we just make sure that they're very well taken care of. We also don't send them to anywhere until they're 600-700 pounds, with mama, which is uncommon as well. So those are the big key parts about, and I verify all the way down to the feed. I mean, you'd be shocked at what they put in animal feed.
What is this is just some previous knowledge that I think I took from a documentary, but you don't feed cows corn, right? Like you're not supposed to. I know that there was a documentary about how they feed them corn to get them fatter faster, but then they don't really digest that. Is that true, or?
Yeah, so I mean, all feed yards have some corn. I would say. I would say it's hard for. It's hard for anybody to digest carbohydrates.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about if you eat a carb, you have to convert it to sugar to process it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know that anything is easy to digest that way. I think where the market is corn fed, the problem is corn syrup.
Okay.
People say they're corn fed. Well, a ration in a feed yard is silage. It's all cows have to have some sort of grass, or silage from a wheat plant, which we could argue. They don't process food without that roughage. Mm-hmm. The roughage is what scratches the rumen, which secretes the liquid to process their food. They have 4-chamber stomachs. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to digest anything, no matter what you fed them. So I think there's a conception of feed yards are full of corn. Well, corn's, number one, way too expensive for commercial cattle to be fed 100% corn. Number two, to your point, it'd be very hard for them to digest that without lots of medicine, which would be even more expensive. And number three, you have to moisten that ration, right? So what they moisten that ration with is byproduct of corn. Okay. And when I say I verify our program, those are the things that I went and verified. I went to commercial feed yards. I went and looked at these things and saw them. And, the corn syrup, with new technology, some of the studies that are coming out are going to shock people.
Yeah, it's probably not the best for you. But you did something, what was it, last Tuesday at a marina. Marina, the restaurant there, you had a release, exclusive restaurant partner selected section dedicated to chef and rancher's wagyu ribeye and strips and fillet steaks. What y'all have going on down there?
So I'm a direct ship beef company. We're launching our website today. Actually, we launched it last week. We just haven't announced it. We are chef and rancher, but our website is chefrancher.com. We are an online platform. We are direct ship now. We did all the photography. We've almost uploaded all the photography.
Love that.
You can order right now. All the cuts of our program. I shot all the photography, and we are also a private event company too. And we're about to launch that online too. You'll be able to book me and Jacob on a private event.
Nice.
Through that website soon. So. We don't distribute as a distributor. Okay. I partnered with Marina, Chef Jesse, because I respect him as a chef.
He's a friend. Yeah, you guys have been friends for a long time now.
Yeah, and I still want the Woodlands to be able to have what they miss about Tris, and he wanted to put our steak on the menu, and
he wants to help. He's a good guy. He wants to get
exactly
in there and get involved.
Exactly.
And I've enjoyed all the food he's ever touched. So I'm like, man, that's good. Oh man, this guy
extremely talented.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we won't be in any other restaurants. We won't serve those cuts in any other restaurant in the Woodlands right now, but we're primarily a direct ship beef company currently. And then when we do events, obviously I cook.
And I saw some whole animal cooking and preparation. I mean, I just in my head when I read this, it's a spigot, the spit, where is that what you're talking about? When you talk about whole animal preparation?
No, when I talk about whole animal preparation, I mean highlighting every cut of the animal.
I see. Okay.
And unlike commercial cattle, our program lends to lots of muscles on the animal. Most muscles people aren't familiar with.
I kind of figured it meant something.
Being able
just all fat boying it up.
I mean, we could go spit whole roast an animal if you wanted to. I mean, I'm not scared of that, but we have a lot of the sub cuts, the butcher's cuts that perform, and I mean, I could outcut just about any middle fillet strip or ribeye in any commercial program that you could put in front. And I can close your eyes and you pick it all day long, and they're cuts that don't marble in commercial cattle. So, and that's because we're genetic verified and we feed different and we have a cross that performs different.
I mean, wouldn't it be cool if you were like one of the top ranked teams for one of these statewide cook-offs and I got my beef from you?
Yeah, I bring it tomorrow.
That'd be great, right? I can turn around and say that's where I got it, and boom, And they're always looking for the edge. I mean, last year at the Montgomery County Fair and Rodeo, as an example, I mean, everybody in there is cooking Wagyu and of some kind and some variety, and I'm looking at it and it's like, that looks a little more marble than I'd like, no matter what you call it. You know what I mean? And I like that one because that supposedly that brings on the tenderness of the meat, having that marbling. And I mean, I like it to an extent in the brisket, but I don't know. It just depends. Any advice there?
Well, I think, and I just took. This is funny you say that. I just took. Ronnie Killen ordered my program for his cook-off at the rodeo. I just took a bunch of briskets down to him last night.
Yeah. You gotta have that edge.
So you got to understand fat, first and foremost.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get people to rationalize trans fat and saturated fat. Wagyu has a positive ratio of monosaturated fat to sat fat genetically. Okay.
I tend to understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
Monosaturated fat would be the same property, omega-3, right? So we're which equates to a different render point, meaning it melts at a lower temperature. And so we're able to render that fat. And not only that, it's way healthier for you. So just because you have more fat, doesn't mean you have more flavor. Fat is not flavor. Render it and drink it. Right, so you need to understand when you cook a brisket or cook any steak for that matter, what kind of fat you're working with. Larry has determined what haplotypes in the Wagyu genetics produce the monosaturated fat, and he's bred that dominant. So we're a program and a cross, and a true F1 cross, which means we're genetic to genetic, and we have a even more dominant monosaturated fat quality. Matter of fact,
so you're controlling it. You're making sure it's there and this in the right ways.
Correct. So then, when you go to cook that, you have to understand that. If you go to cook a brisket that is dominant in monosaturated fat and it renders lower,
you're going to cook lower temp
than your stall, right? Then you're already rendering fat before you get to the stall. Well, what happens if you low and slow that through the stall and get on the other side? And you're going from 180 to 200, you just now pushed all the fat and moisture out of your brisket.
Yeah.
Right? If you hot and fast it, and you don't have the lower melting point, well, then you're going to end up with this under-rendered, fatty brisket. So it's understanding the fat in the protein that you're cooking, and then applying fuel source to that, to temperature, to the right way, depending on cut too.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's cuts on the animal that I highlight that I cook at a different temperature than everybody thinks medium rare, medium rare, medium rare. Well, yeah. I mean, if you serve me a tenderloin, I'm gonna cook medium rare. We're gonna have a ribeye. We're gonna push medium rare plus because I want to render the fat. I want it to be warm throughout. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut out the seam fat because I want ladies to enjoy it. Right. They just don't like that seam fat. Or unrendered fat.
That's my favorite part.
Right.
That's also my favorite part.
Well,
Give me the meat with the bone in it. Damn it, I want to know what it is.
That's wonderful, but a lot of people, they get scared of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we teach monosaturated fat and how good that is for you, it's the same property of olive oil. We'll get a lot more people that will not
learn
be
how to
scared
cook
of
it the right way when they get that temp right. And I just think if it, once you get that edge, it's like 10 years ago, I go into a cook-off and there wasn't one guy cooking Wagyu anything. You know what I mean? Now it's like every booth out there, so you see these trends
yeah, but is it Wagyu or is it not?
Who knows?
Right. You see what I mean? They
may not even
know.
know.
Here's my problem in the beef business. When I got into understanding that what was going to be the extension of Chef Austin Simmons.
Yeah.
I'm from Texas. I fish, hunt. I love to play golf. I'm a French-trained chef that staged in Paris and Switzerland, Tokyo, Singapore. Fish drives me. It's sexy. It's beautiful.
Love
the
fish.
Creation you can do with it. Seafood. Commercial cattle is inconsistent. If I order a prime steak today, and then I order a box of prime steak tomorrow, it's a different texture, different flavor. Different marbling, right?
Yeah.
It's hand graded. There's nothing grammatical about it. So that drove me crazy. How do how do I serve you this steak in a restaurant? And you say, oh my God, it's the best flavor I've ever eaten. The next day you come back and it's cooked perfect. And you're like, oh, they changed the steak. It must be cheapening the menu. Well, that's bullshit. I mean,
It's not
commercial
the same.
cattle is crossbred cattle. That's you get what you get when you get it because it had a grade that was stamped by someone who thought at that time that it looked like it was prime.
Yeah, I'm curious to know where you think the meat industry is going, like with lab grown meat and things like that. Where do you
Well,
think?
I sure hope we're not going there. You know,
Right, yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
I think the meat industry is going to, depending on how much gets exposed about feed and how much farmland we get back from
Yeah.
what's been given up to not
Yeah.
U.S. I think that we will head towards cleaner programs, verified programs. We still have to feed everybody, so we're not
Right.
going to get to all genetic.
Right.
But I think people will want to know more of these things, and I think there may be a time where we eat less of a steak format, but a better quality. I think that we have other parts of the animal industry that's going to be very interesting to tackle as well. I've seen it. I just know that beef is something that I'm passionate about and that I can affect right now, and I want to teach my girls how to find clean protein sources and what it takes to raise an animal. I mean, the general public, they have no idea when they just come order a fillet. I got to have a fillet. I love fillets too. I eat them most of the time. I like to, it's what my girls love to eat. But there's a lot more of the animal
There's a whole lot more cow.
that has to be utilized in a way that you would eat or my 5-year-old would eat or so I think the industry is changing in the sense that we're going to have to find ways to farm different. We're going to have to take some of our farms back, and we're going to have to put some integrity back into a lot of that.
Yeah.
At least the channels where we know that symbol means something, symbols of beef pride that people take and the raising of the animals and the bringing them to market and everything that goes and gets involved with it. They say there's no, the cowboy kind of loses his touch because there's no more cattle drive. But, we're still moving cattle, like you said, in different ways, in different places. And we're still raising cattle. We're still breeding cattle. We're still doing all the things that go involved with all of this here in Texas and on a regular basis. And I know that they're breeding them for different reasons. There's bull riders, that they're looking for that stock, that lineage in what he's riding, or who I'm breeding with, and those kind of, everything from limousine to the industry just goes on and on and on, on where you can go there. But I'm told you're sticking with food and beverage a little bit as you move forward.
Yeah, I mean, my dream was to always serve my program with Larry in the restaurant in totality. One restaurant like Tris can't serve all the different parts of the animal. You don't go to a fine dining restaurant to eat beef tongue.
Beef tongue.
I make a pastrami beef tongue that you wouldn't know that's what you're eating. You can't sell enough ground beef in a restaurant like that. You have to build restaurants around whole animal if you want to highlight your whole program. I graduated high school and went to culinary school 30 days later. I was trained by the French. The only thing that I think is harder to gain respect from than French chefs would be true cattle ranchers. I mean, guys that are out there every day raising animals. That's the hardest job I've ever seen, and I've worked 100 hours in kitchens since I was 19. I love restaurants. I love taking care of people. I love people walking in with a bad day, and you can tell they've had a rough day, and being able to flip them in 2 seconds and with hospitality and make them feel like they're somewhere they're not. Yeah, I think God has given me a gift. And I plan to use that, and that gift is cooking. It's telling a cattle story for a 74-year-old man who decided to go off the road with Mr. Morris and Larry Ledecky in particular. That's become a passion of mine because I believe in what they're doing. I know it's healthier for you. I have tested it on all kinds of things, from glucose monitors to cholesterol monitors. I mean, we're going to unleash some pretty cool stuff this year with Chef and Rancher that's going to be pretty life changing, I think.
We're going to put all the links down on how to get involved and speak with you and talk to you about some different things that they can still work with you and private parties, from what I've gathered so far, events type thing, curating some beef if we needed it for different things. Just reach out and ask, and from there, what am I missing? The Chef and Rancher brings.
No, just the direct ship platform. Support us on that. It's chefrancher.com, and we're fully live. We ship nationwide. U.S. national. We've already shipped 30 of the 50 states. I mean, so
That's awesome.
we're on track. And we haven't even really marketed that. I did all that on Excel spreadsheet and just contacts and email. So
I bet, yeah.
Heck yeah.
private party, I have an email link on Chef and Rancher. You can email me directly to book a private party currently. But on Chef and Rancher, the direct ship platform, Chef Rancher, is on there. You just click on it. Facebook page is up and running. You can go there as well and find it. And now we're starting to show you the cuts. And then soon I'll be teaching online. I'll be teaching you how to cook
That'd be better.
all these different
Teaching.
cuts with multiple different fuel sources. So you'll know how to cook
cool.
a Terrace Major or a Denver or an
awesome.
oxtail.
And I like the different temperature. And wait a minute. Did you say the last thing was oxtail?
Sure.
And you're talking about there is no oxes in the U.S. I don't think, right? I mean, this is a beef tail, right?
I mean, whatever you say, chef.
That shit, there it goes again.
Whatever
Yes,
you
chef.
say, chef.
It's all a facade. We're being tricked. There are no oxes.
You can call whatever you want
This
to call.
animal don't even exist in the wild. I've never seen one, but yet they're sold at Walmart. Well, no, man. I'm on the question list with that. I had another question for you. So have you ever been out in Waco? There's a place called the Homestead. It's
Never been to Waco.
It's a retreat now, and at the Homestead they make their own plates, dishware. They make their own blacksmith. They make their own soaps, their own clothing, everything. Right? Not Amish. It's sort of a retreat kind of place, but everything is produced there, and they have a little cafe up front that is the Homestead Cafe, right? And everything that's served there is grown, produced, raised on that property, which I think is and I wanted to mention it not because I'm confused, right, but to make sure that other people aren't. Now these people are preparing and doing with the things that they have. You've gone to another level and genetically enhanced these things to bring a specialty to the beef, which takes it to another level, not just organically grown and produced, but in every other way beyond that as a specialty to bring that beef to another level rather than just organic.
Yeah, I think I was blessed to find Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior 3 years ago. Being in the restaurant business and learning, I've negotiated supply and wrote contracts for supply on all continents. And I've also been around the world and seen how everybody else cooks and the products they do, and I study all that. I can't follow God and the gift He's given me and serve things that I know are making people sick. I just can't do it. I couldn't walk past the fryer anymore of soybean oil.
Oh, yeah.
Everything I do in the future and everything I do in private events and everything that I do it's verified by me that these products that I've used are healthy for you and your children.
Yep.
You can eat this ground beef, which I have for 18 weeks straight, and go on a verified carbohydrate sources. And I cured. I needed a stent in my esophagus for acid reflux. I was told as a chef that all the years that I'd come on eating too late and laying down too fast that I had developed such bad acid reflux that I needed a stent. Cured that. I had stomach problems that I thought I would never get rid of. Restroom so many different times a day, all gone. Wow. I was going to have surgery on all that, all gone. So for me going forward, my legacy will be a chef that verifies products that are served to people that they can be sure that they're serving their children things that will help them be better. And I believe that a healthy protein source, it starts first.
I think it's a lot of people's concerns right now. I mean, I feel like, get a deal on some chicken. I'm curious. Well, looks like it's clone chicken tonight. I honestly, I'm just throwing dice. I mean, I have no idea. I feel like I got a bargain, so I probably deserve the clone version, or the less, cared for version. That chicken that was abused on that show I once watched on that channel, where there's, the guy at the chicken farm's like, I wouldn't eat any of these chickens.
Yeah.
He's like, what did he say? It's his ranch, and he's saying he won't. I wouldn't eat a single one of these chickens. I mean, he's straight telling you, no, and so I always have that concern. Oh yeah, because value is assumed by what you get, and so when I look to see what value I got, I'm always, the bigger the value, it still has this knife, that pokes me, saying, well, you think you got a value, you got this. And that's what it goes for, right. And they're still profiting the same amount,
Well, we have to learn how to farm more efficiently. Not more efficiently, but we have to get back some of what we lost. So everybody at every price point can afford to eat this program. I used to sell one of these ribeyes at Tris for $150. You can buy it right now online for $55. if you want me to teach you how to grill it, I will soon.
I'll show you how to grill that thing too.
You understand? So
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
and it won't mean I won't get back into a restaurant and put his service around it and charge $150 again. But you're getting a whole experience there. Right. I want people to be able at all levels. That's why my program's so exciting. We have butcher's cuts that are $20 that will outcut anything in the commercial market, filet strip or ribeye. And now the middle class people, and even lower, can afford to eat a clean program and feed their kids products that are clean for them. That's where we have to go in the future.
I think so too. I think getting local and doing some things like that, and getting things, and then the next level, is that everything else you're putting into it, all the other scrutiny that goes into the raising of the cow, and from like birth to table almost. I mean, they call it farm to table. But that doesn't say anything for the whole back office of the ranch. You know what I mean? All that, you've omitted a lot of stuff. I mean, certainly we can just do that, and that's primitive, but it works out. It's kind of like a home birth, Right. It worked out, but I'd rather get a specialist and a doctor so the baby lives for sure, and we have an anesthetic and all that other fun stuff that makes it modern medicine great. So I'd rather bring that expertise in that ranching and bring that beef, especially if I'm competitive or I'm doing anything like that, or if I'm opening up a restaurant and want to boast those claims, hey, sure. I've got that quality, I've got that, that grade, like a lot of bull riders would do to boast the ranch of the bull, hey, that's where it came from. This is the seed. This is, these things are big.
And it can't just be fluff. It has to be reality. Can we show a video? Is there a way to
No, but I'll definitely share that link. Tell me about it, and it'll be down below.
It's just me bottle feeding a calf.
Okay.
And my rancher overseeing me do that. So,
we'll put it in there. I'll share the link.
When I mean I'm all the way from start to finish with Larry, that's what I mean. And I go to the feed yard, which is kind of taboo because everybody's grass fed, grass finished right now, which to me is redundant. I mean,
what does grass finish mean? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Well,
just that they ate grass right before they were processed?
Somebody would have to explain to me what grass-fed, grass-finished is, because if you feed it grass, how do you finish it with grass? It's the same thing. I kind of have an issue with that in the industry, honestly. And 95% of grass-fed beef does not come from the U.S. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, that would mean that the animal lives on pasture its whole life.
Okay.
We can't feed people. We would never be able to supply enough food that way. Number one. Number two, we've given up too much of our farmland. Number three, feed yard to me and Joe Morris's story is and why he's a part of Chef and Rancher is he does it the right way with none of that engineered products and not overcrowded pens and clean spaces, and they're out on wheat fields, and
he might actually eat his own beef.
they grow sorghum and they ferment that, and we use molasses instead of corn syrup, and I mean there's so many things that we could go on and on and on about, but
that's so cool. Well, I'm. What's next? What's coming up next? So, in conclusion here, where does the road go from here? What do y'all got on the schedule? Anything cool coming up?
We're
next
going to
couple
go
months?
do the cattle country in Gonzales on April 11th, 12th, and 13th. A bunch of country music singers. And
Oh, cool.
We're cooking the VIP, 500 people twice a day for 3 days.
That is VIP. They don't if they didn't know.
We are booked quite a few private dinners.
Nice.
We did 3 last weekend, 3 the weekend before.
great.
And we're boxing beef and shipping it. So
the regular. Yeah, all right.
And then we're big in charity. I mean, I'm honoring just about everything I ever donated last year. For people that maybe got told that we're not, I am. The cook. We went to Los Angeles and cooked for the firefighters in the middle of the fires. We drove 45.
Did you really?
We
Wow,
drove
that's crazy.
45 hours I spent in a truck with him in a trailer and cooked 3,000 hamburgers for those guys in the middle of the fires. I donated all that ground, and then we just went to the border and did that. And to me, I think serving people is what I'm here for, and I think we'll do a lot more of that. And that's kind of where we're at.
That's super cool.
Restaurant in the future, yes. But when, where, how, well, that's yet to come.
All right. Well,
I'm not leaving the Woodlands. I can tell you that much.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Woodlands, Conroe.
That's all you get. That's all you
That's
get.
all you get.
I
Well,
love it here.
we do have a wine dinner fashion show coming up here in Conroe that we'll hit you up for to get some of that beef. I know Messina Hoff's doing the wine dinner. It's on May 3rd, and upcoming event.
You don't want us for the fashion part of it?
No.
We do, actually. We want you to dress up.
You guys do the tuxedo cowboy hat. I think that could be. It's evening wear, bridal wear, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
and if you ever do anything,
otherwise, I would work you in.
Appreciate it.
if you ever do anything with kids, I'll donate the meat. Just let me know.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, Austin. Franklin. I know that's not right.
Just
Faulkner, like
at
the
this
island.
point, just call me Jake. Just call me Jake at this point, brother.
Sous chef, right hand, man of mystery,
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. That was the one. Yeah.
Yep.
Jacob Folker. Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to come, and I appreciate the T-shirt. Thank you so much. And we'll look forward to catching up, getting where you're going, and getting some more about what's going to be happening in the future. We'll get all those links down below. You guys can catch all that down there. We'll see you later on back here for the Punch Your Texas Ticket segment, and
Yes.
then next week on the Texas Ticket Show. We'll be right back.
Thank you, guys.
Won't you kick your feet up if you have a minute? Turn your radio dial to the Texas Ticket. Giving you the news and what's read.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
Tune in to 104.5.
Da-da-da. Welcome back to the Texas Ticket. It's Armando.
And Haley.
Yeah, this is the Punch Your Texas Ticket segment of the show where we,
We
are-
make you more Texan.
punch it, not touch it.
Punch the ticket.
Punch it, you're a little more Texan. I was told once we were down at the Frio River, and it's like, why does everybody like the Frio River? And they were like, well, when you get there, you'll find out. And number one, and number two, just showing up, you can punch your Texas ticket. And I was like, what does that mean? And because, well, you're a little more Texan because you did. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's stuck, it's
Yeah.
stuck. Yeah. And so there's a lot of things you can do to make you a little more Texan, even if you're not born and raised Texan. There are ways to start, acclimating to the process,
Yeah. I did not grow up here, so going to these events, I can say confidently it does make you a little bit more Texan.
And there's a difference, the first lesson that I would grilling and barbecuing and smoking are three different things.
Okay.
So if I'm smoking dinner, if I'm grilling dinner, or I'm just going to barbecue dinner, it's not the same thing. You can't.
I agree that they're different, but I don't I don't participate in any of those activities.
You ever notice
I
that
just
there
eat
weren't
the
hot
food.
dogs, competition at the barbecue cook-off?
I guess no, I didn't.
No, or hamburgers.
Didn't cross my mind. No.
Yeah, no, none of that.
Interesting.
It's not going to happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's certain lines, that in the part where you just got to understand some of these things. Some of them are really nuances and just soft and subtleties, but those are the things, details make the difference. Some say, well, the devil's in the details, but so is the greatness.
I agree.
Kind of like the beef, that Austin Simmons was bringing up, Chef Austin. He was talking about some of those details making the big difference. Whether it's served over at as Mirror Restaurant, where I know that chef used some of his beef and did a little marsala sauce he's real famous for, and made it this beef marsala dish that, I don't know, I heard it from Lake Conroe, and it was served in the Woodlands. It was like, wow, did you hear that? It sounds like a Wagyu marsala going down over there in the Woodlands, and it certainly was. I'm just saying that the details matter. You can catch some of those details in Chef Austin Simmons, in his reality and his beef and the things that he serves and the efforts that he makes, getting those things for him. We're going to look forward to getting him involved in supporting some of the local events and being a part of some of the local happenings here, including the 7th annual Spring in Montgomery County Home and Outdoor Living Show. Da-da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, that's coming on all weekend this weekend. March 1st through March 2nd here at the Lone Star Convention Center. You can come catch that. The Bridal Extravaganza in the Woodlands, and I'm really excited about this because I really think we're going to have some of the ladies from the Bridal Extravaganza come on the show next week or the week after.
Okay.
And they're going to be in the Woodlands for a one-day wedding show event that takes place on April 6th. They're still looking for vendors, booths, sponsors, all that stuff, all that fun stuff. You can reach out to Bridal Extravaganza and get your tickets, or you can get set up for the wedding fashions, vendors, and booths and other opportunities. Yes, for the sake of wedding business, you lovers, I think there'll be some actually engaged people at that event.
Probably.
Yes.
Maybe one or two.
Yes, a real life engaged couple will be in attendance at that event. We can say it with confidence.
Yeah.
Maybe more than one.
Maybe more than 5.
Highly
likely.
So, Sundance Head. It's going to be March 8th over at the table at Medley, and great recovery. He got shot. He was shot in action.
Really?
Yeah, recovered, and had a lot of crazy dreams. Going to write a lot of songs about it, I'm sure. And
Well, speaking of the table at Medley, Cannon Brand and Justin Lane Gates with Bottomland, they are going to be at the table at Medley on March 14th at 7:30 p.m. You can get your tickets online. We'll leave that link below.
I want that event. I want to go to that one. That's a good one. I want that event. I'm going to take it home with me.
Put it in my pocket.
Play it on my radio. You don't get to play it on the radio anymore as much, and I just don't listen to much on the radio at all. But I'll tell you, these guys are up and coming. I've seen Justin Cannon Brand several times. He's been on the previous programs, and Justin Lane Gates also. But I've seen them locally, and just saw them two start working together through the last recent years. And just, man, Justin Lane's got that solid country.
Yeah, I saw him at Do-Si-Do, and they rocked the house there.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of spirit. I love me some Cannon Brand's energy and the way he gets that band moving, and they work together so well. And
really
it's the
do.
same guys and gals. I think the bassist, their lead is female, but the guys and gals of Bottomland, the group known as Bottomland. Yeah. Okay. Mark Chestnut, February 28th. That's tonight over at the Hippodrome in Waco, Texas, at the Hippodrome Theater. They're on Austin Avenue in Waco, Texas. It's Mark Chestnut tonight. April 5th. Now, mark your calendar for you guys. This is the North Houston Charity Motorcycle Ride. It starts at Hunger Crush on Cafe on 105 West, and it ends at J&B Cycle Works here in Conroe. It's a 149-mile ride. It's for Victory for Veterans, and that's the colonel. In his work there, we really help Victory for Veterans at every opportunity. They're actively involved in supporting veterans in our area and actually doing stuff. They have programs. They just don't like transition. They're hands on. You got to get to know them a little bit, and a good way to get to know them and a lot of other folks on the stop is the North Houston Charity Ride, starting in Conroe, Montgomery, out on Lake Conroe, right next to Fajita Jack's, Hunger Crush Cafes there in the parking lot, right there out in front. It comes with meals, a 50-50 raffle, 149-mile trip. Should be interesting. And you already got us on that Justin Langate's Cannon Brand event. Tyler Childress, of course, tickets are still on sale for June 3rd at Cynthia Mitchell Woods Pavilion. And maybe he does need a little help, Those tickets are still on sale. Monthly Artisan Markets kicks off March 1st in Grand Market. And that's over in the Grand Central Park, Conroe, which is where the old Boy Scout camp used to be, that whole neighborhood back in there. They have a thing called the Lake House, an award-winning building they designed out in there. And it's gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful place. Public's welcome. They do a whole market thing, and it's on the 1st. That'll be happening this weekend at 1039 Lake House Drive at Grand Central Park, Conroe. It's a free event to attend. And every month they'll be having one of these. March 1st, April 5th, and May 3rd. That's coming up. Turtle Box Fishing Tournament. That's over at Papa's. I believe the Lake Conroe Big Bass Classic presented by Visit Conroe, our friends at Visit Conroe.
And they got a lot of money in prizes that they're offering.
They do?
Yeah.
Boy, you get paid at this tournament.
Yeah.
Guaranteed prizes and payouts for 3-day event. February 21st is 28th through March 2nd. It's $240,000.
That's a lot of dough.
That's a lot of dough. It's a lot of dough. Entry fees are at $250. The 2-day $165. The 1 day is $115. Youth is $75 for the youth entry, and they're underway. I mean, I think you need to be already registered and in there, but you can definitely come catch the weigh-ins over at Papa's. That's on Lake Conroe, 14632 Texas Highway 105 West, going out to the lake area, of course, right there, McCaleb and. It's a giant pink building. You'll see it. Just drive till you see the pink building on your right. All right, so that's that. The Huffer Brothers. Huffer. I don't know.
Huffer Brothers?
I don't know. You know these guys?
I do not.
No, exciting. But Frank over at Table at Medley usually finds some good stuff, and so we bring him up. Frank Jackson, I don't know if you know his career. He was back in the day, he was into the music industry quite a bit in some fashion. I don't think he might have been a singer, instrument player. I think he was in the industry. So we got to know a lot of musicians and procured a lot in this way, and was able to stay in tune with the industry. He knows people. I mean, he knows people and he knows music. He's got a great ear for it, so we can trust in that for the Huffer Brothers. March 1st, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tickets on sale at the door. You come catch it at Table at Medley. The Montgomery Farmers Market's over at the KOA campground every single month. Actually, I think that's every Saturday.
Yeah.
Right? It's every Saturday? I think it's every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12, and that's at the KOA campgrounds, again, Highway 105 West. You can come out there, and they've got bread, produce, eggs, milk, cheeses, pastries, beef, you name it.
Can't get much more farm to table than that.
Yeah, it's definitely that. And they got the all the herbs like the sprouts where you can just get your scissors and cut them yourself.
Like
I love it.
Yeah. Well, we also, upcoming on March 1st, is the mattress sale at Conroe High School. This is a band fundraiser. They're going to have the annual mattress sale there. They're going to have mattresses like Purple, Beauty Rest, Simmons, Helix, and all kinds of different things. If you RSVP ahead of time, you get entered to win a free pillow. It is a free event to attend, but you can get some really big discounts there, like 30 to 50% off. They're going to be there from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And like I said, that's a free event.
So discount and a good cause.
Yeah.
So if your kid's in band, you better have him in bed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
if your kid's in the Willis band, you better be sleeping on one of those new purple beds. Those purple beds are pretty cool.
I know. I like them. And my favorite color is purple. So I feel like we should go check it out just because I feel like
You're going to put sheets on that thing. And nobody's going to see it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No one's going to see it.
Also coming up is the Southern Star IPA Festival and Car Show. That's going to be super exciting. They have $5 IPAs all day, classic cars, good vibes. So you can join them there at their location, which is 3525 North Fraser Street here in Conroe, Texas. It is open to the public.
March 4th. Now, Tuesday, March 4th. This is right around the corner. Now, guys, there's a Merlot Madness wine dinner. Now, most wine dinners are, 2-ounce pours, and small little, everybody leaves hungry. Well, there's one over at Hunger Crush Cafe. I'm going to pitch my boys again here. The guy at 105 West, where the Victory for Veterans bike rally is going off on. Mm-hmm. That's during the day. That's not what they do. They don't do bike rallies. That's just something they do to support the veterans. But what they do, and they do well, is wine dinners. And it's well priced. I think it's under $100 and well under. 8 wines, 8 courses.
Wow.
But like the plate will have like 2 different types, like a little tartare and a little, whatever over here, the little do, 2 little things here and there. It's nice. But they're doing 3-ounce pours, 3.5-ounce pours. I mean, I'm like, wow, okay, I'm barely going to make it through this.
Yeah, but it's a great opportunity for you to go test out some new wines, ask some questions, try something that you haven't had before.
Yeah, what is that? 26 ounces, 3-ounce pours, 8 times. That's if you drank them all.
Yeah.
It's still under a bottle. Like I'm not going to drink. I think I could drink a single bottle of wine and still be coherent. And, with dessert and some coffee. 2-hour time. You know.
Oh, it's 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be out there for a while. Listening to them talk about the wines, waiting for the next courses, and they discuss each course and they discuss the wines. So it's about learning a lot of the knowledge. Yeah. And those tickets are on sale now. You can go to Hunger Crush Cafe's Facebook page, and you can get on board with that. I was just reading about Austin Simmons, chef and rancher Larry Leduc, and of Bar J Cattle and Feed, and he's out in the Huntsville, and I believe Bar J and Morris Stockyards are both Huntsville based ranches. So it's interesting, a lot of interesting stuff there today, and I guess in a final note, I guess I wanted to go over the quick Cynthia Mitchell Woods Pavilion. Billy Idol, Joan Jett, and the Blackhearts will both be on the 3rd of May. Outlaw Music Festival is on July 6th. KSBJ presents Mercy Me with Zach Williams and Sam Wesley March 9th, or May 9th. Sorry, that's May 9th. Weird Al Yankovic, August 1st. And then that Soft Cell, Simple Minds, they're coming up because apparently I don't have that. But I think we still have a little while for the Soft Cell show with Modern English and Simple Minds. And
that's May 31st.
May 31st? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I didn't come out on my printout. But and that's all I have. I wanted to give a shout out. Did you have anything for the calendar?
No, I think that's it.
So a brief shout out to our friends over at Hunger Crush Cafe with the Work for Victory for Veterans, and really excited about them supporting in that way. Austin Simmons, Chef Austin Simmons, for coming in today, and Mr. Faulkner. Jacob Faulkner. Mm-hmm. You see, I got his name right.
Yes, you did. I took the whole show.
And thank you everyone else for tuning in, and we'll look forward to seeing y'all come back to visit with us next week on the Texas Ticket. Hopefully we have a young lady. She's going to be singing for us next week, and hopefully some information about the bridal extravaganza going forward. We'll see you soon, and again here on the Texas Ticket Show, Lone Star Community Radio.
So won't you kick your feet up if you have a minute?